I don't think the Prime Minister will like to go down in history as somebody who bailed the country in '92 and killed it in 2012. And the only reason he's kept the finance portfolio with him is he will try to push few things.
We have to start with a sense of urgency, and there are 4 or 5 things where everybody comes together and makes sure that those get implemented.
Hello and welcome to a brand new week of We Mean Business on NDTV Profit. Shweta Rajpal Kohli is away for the week, but we'll keep you up to speed on all the big debates. And the one big debate that's going to continue through the week and maybe even longer is whether the government is finally going to deliver. We've been counting almost on a day-to-day basis, waiting for the presidential polls to be over in the hope that eventually the government will start to move on a large number of issues. Let me just set up the debate before I welcome in all our panelists today. And we're trying to segregate into issues and actions that the government has to take on an immediate basis, then on a medium-term basis, and then on a long-term signaling basis. I want to start with some issues which are becoming absolutely imperative. And, top of that list, predictably, is an adjustment in diesel prices. Globally, crude oil prices are on the up move once again, which means that in the current scenario, the government must start to adjust local fuel prices if it doesn't want its fiscal scenario to get thrown out of whack right now. In fact, already there are concerns that the 5.1% fiscal deficit target for the year is probably not likely to be met, so the government has to try and ensure that it comes back on track. And of course, credible fiscal consolidation, as the Reserve Bank of India has said, is important from an interest rate perspective as well. The RBI is unlikely to move until it sees the government move. The other almost immediate priority has become taxation. We've already started to see some action there with the Shom Committee being set up to look at general anti-avoidance rules, but clarity on taxation is the other almost immediate priority. Then you start to look slightly more medium term and you look at issues that need to be resolved, particularly on the infrastructure end. The government has started to move on coal. They've got a lot of focus on power. We'll give them some credit for having started to at least take action there. There's been an attempt to fast-track project approvals. That's something that is also essential from a medium-term infrastructure investment standpoint. There's some talk about encouraging public sector enterprises to invest, especially cash-rich PSUs to start to invest in the hope that that will then lead to a positive cycle of investments with the private sector coming back in as well. And then, of course, there are longer-term structural issues that need to be addressed. GST is still up in the air. Industry in particular is very keen that we move ahead and give clarity on the GST implementation timeline. 2013 seems unlikely to be met, at least right now, but maybe the government can move on that end. There's issue of FDI limit hikes. We don't need to remind you. Retail, aviation, insurance, pension, those would be important signaling measures, if not immediate boosters to the economy. And then there is easing of supply side constraints on the inflation end. That's also becoming fairly imperative. Joining us to talk through all of these right now, we've got an impressive panel with us. Sumant Sinha is Chairman and CEO of RE New Wind Power. He's joining us from Delhi. We'll be joined by DD Rathi, Group Executive President of Aditya Birla Group. On the economy side, Sajid Chinoy, India economist at JP Morgan, shares his thoughts with us. On the market end, Manishi Ray Chaudhary, MD and Head of Research at BNP Paribas, talks to us about how much longer the markets will remain patient. And then we get an independent perspective, a foreign view on India, so to speak. We've got Vivek Dehejia, contributing writer to the New York Times and also economics professor here with us in the studios as well. Let me kick it off with Mr. DD Rathi, the senior-most member on our panel today. Mr. Rathi, it's wonderful to have you here, sir. And for someone who's seen so much of the Indian economy, I have to say that you're probably sitting and watching this scenario and saying that, we just can't get our act together.
Well, I think time has now come when government should quickly act. As I see your theme, President's election or what next, I really can't understand what changes after the president's election. Is really the government's desire to act on various points, which is most important. I think if you look at various numbers of growth, none of them project an encouraging picture, be it GDP growth number of the fourth quarter, let it be the inflation number, or be it the number for IIP. I think, few steps or quite a few steps taken on monetary front but lot need to be done now on the policy front. In a situation which is too tough for growth, I think doing merely something on economic front is not going, monetary front is not going to help. India need to fire and on all cylinders so far as the policies are concerned to take the growth forward. I think if I have to list, I think first thing which the government has to do is to bring back the confidence, be it the confidence of the investor, be it the confidence of the industry, or be it the confidence in setting up the projects. I think very categorical announcements on the key issues itself will bring a lot of confidence back in the industry.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app, fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.